Welcome to another doodling session. Today I'm going to share some thoughts with you on third eye seeing. And as you're going to see in a few seconds or in a minute or two, this doodle is actually titled Third Eye Seeing. So, I've been doing some meditating recently, and I've been meditating for a couple of years now, but I did stop this year because I just had the feeling that it became too much of a routine thing. So I just stopped for almost a year. And life happened. And I lost myself in some emotional turmoil again. All of it self-inflicted pain and suffering, psychological stuff. But, as I said, I started meditating again. It's when this stuff happens, this emotional confusion or psychological confusion, even though you might know that your thoughts are not who you are, or what you think about your life is not what your life actually is. You might be aware of these concepts, but to actually embody them or truly know what this means to be fully mindful of this fact, I think you have to arrive at this point. And perhaps suffering is the only way. I mean, if you look at the story of Buddha, for example, he went through a lot of suffering. So I think you first need to understand suffering, or to just actually see where it comes from, what it truly is, to see through the illusion and to just see it as what it is. Confusion. It's just confusion. So, in meditation, I perhaps managed to detach from this thinking mind or conceptual aspect of my mind. But as I got into meditating again recently, I approached it a bit differently. Maybe the way it is actually intended to be. I read some Jon Kabat-Zinn, and there's another book by Shunryu Suzuki, a Zen Roshi, Zen master. It's a book from the early 70s. It's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. There's a great audiobook on YouTube too. I will link it in the description. I think based on what these individuals share about mindfulness meditation, it is actually very important to not only detach, but to be aware of detachment from the observer perspective, to become aware of the observational nature of your mind, and so to speak realize that reality or consciousness is in a sense like a screen on which an image is projected. And this image is influenced by what you think and what emotions you associate with these thoughts. To become aware of that is to see. We usually, when we say seeing, we might think, or we might confuse it with looking, with seeing through the eyes. But that is not actually seeing. We see through the inner vision. All is inner vision. When we are awake, we think that there's an outside world because we interact with something we call physical. But if you truly observe what is going on through meditation, or actually just, in everyday life, you can meditate while you are at work, to become aware of what you are doing in the moment. It's not something you need to limit to a certain practice. You can be mindful of what you're doing right now and just see. Just notice what is going on. Notice your thoughts. Notice your feelings, everything. Just let them arise and pass. This is you. And once you realize that this observer is you and not the observed, once this becomes apparent, doesn't that mean that you and I aren't so different after all, and maybe even the exact same, just experiencing a different perspective, and that is all. That is meditation, and that is the way I've been doing it, and it feels different. It's probably also because once you've been on a certain path, or let's say once you've chosen to look inside, I think what happens is that you gradually become aware of your true self, whatever that means. I think it's, in the end, it's always a bit critical to use these terms, true self and enlightenment, spiritual awakening. These are all just words. But the experience or the feeling of wholeness and completeness from within, that is not a concept. That's all for today. Bye. Talk to you soon.